So let me see. It says that I am live. I'm gonna see if this is gonna work. Right now, I'm live on YouTube, so I'm gonna go ahead and do. Let me see if I can. Let me see. It says close. I'm gonna see if I can do what I need to do for right now. Um. Okay, so I have you on my live for YouTube, and for the sake of us doing the show the way we normally do it, um, we can call it hell, we can call it a test show if you want to. But right now I'm live on YouTube. So let's see if we can do that. I don't have anything on the screen because I haven't put anything up on the screen, but I'm gonna do a share while we're doing that. But I have you on the microphone, and we are live on YouTube, so I'm hoping this is going to work. At least where they can hear our voice. So welcome to Crown Knowledge Radio. I'll see if I can get Zoo to edit as well. Um, so, welcome everybody to Crown Knowledge Radio. We are live on YouTube right now. I am on the phone with the brother guy Rashad. This may be a test show, it may be a live show. We don't know yet. But Rashad, I'm gonna have you say good evening to the people so that we need at least get your voice on recording, just in case it works, everybody. And then I'll move on from there. So, say good evening to the people.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
All right. So we are going to chop it up a little bit. We're going to try to do this live stream here on YouTube tonight. Um, and while we're doing that, Rashad, I'm going to have you go ahead and take off with the show. We're going to do chop it up, chew it, spit it out. It will be a regular segment on YouTube when we do get our live streaming working the way that it's supposed to. And it'll be a regular show that we're going to do along with the other segments that we're introducing to the Crown, some new team members that we're introducing with the Crown as well. So, Rashad, what's going on with the shift? Tell the people what's on your mind right now while I do this a little bit.
Well, shoot, man. I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but we just had the election thing, whatever, and stuff seems weirdly quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm. I
you
do.
don't hear anything. I mean, like from either side of that situation, and you don't see, uh, which they don't matter, but people waking up and finally stop worshiping celebrities. You hear nothing from celebrities anymore. It's like it's just completely quiet.
Everybody's
It's too
quiet.
quiet.
It is it's eerily quiet. And you're not the first person that I've heard say that either. Um, just like not just social media, but like people in general. Like stuff is weird. Um, and even people feeling weird. I don't think anybody can feel as weird as I'm feeling right now, but just things in general feel weird, and I get that too. Um,
Yeah, yeah. And I had this weekend was another one of those weekends or times where I just didn't feel like doing shit.
Correct. And I think it actually comes along with everything else that everybody was talking about. Because like I said, I've heard Blue talk about it a little bit as well, and pretty much it comes along with the shift and what's actually happening on the planet right now. But because we've had so much happening with we had the double moon, then we had the solar flares in no particular order. The eclipse, of course, happened a couple of times, and nobody even pointed that out. We didn't just have one eclipse. There was a lunar eclipse, I believe, in South America somewhere. There was a lot going on the planet. So it wasn't just one particular thing. Um, And yeah, but it goes along with it is everybody's feeling like different in their body. People are saying they're waking up feeling nauseous. People are saying they walk outside and they're dizzy. People are saying, they're losing their taste. I don't know if it's another that C word situation or it could be something, it could be something else. I don't know. But, we really don't know. But yes, it is it's very quiet. People are, I mean, just the energy itself is just weird.
I mean, very weird, very weird.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that it's just a lot going on, and people, they're trying to distract themselves with stuff, and they know what's going on too. They just don't want to say it, and it's bothered them so much where you see people kind of like, trying to fake the funk, but you look in their face and like, hey, tell something bother you, you worry about something. Plus, everybody's going through something. I mean, everybody. It's like everybody's being touched by something, and they're trying to fake the funk without saying, hey man, I need to let me just sit down for a minute.
Yeah.
But that's what I've been doing this weekend. I said, man, let me just sit down, be calm, collect my thoughts, because I was actually starting a new gig this weekend, and I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. I just don't feel it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't know if this is a good time to be starting to do. Well, I mean, I'm not saying it's not something that you should do, but I don't think like right this very minute. Like, you understand what I'm saying? I don't know. For some reason, I just got that. As soon as when you said that, I got a funny feel. Like I don't know. I just felt weird. That's yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't do anything like going signing contracts and making major purchases and doing major things. I guess
I,
starting.
I did I did the gig before. I
Mm,
just started up again. It was just like delivery, but man, I just didn't feel it.
yeah, yeah, and I can understand that. People are saying, um, even people's characteristics and personalities. Um, I guess the best way to put it is people are tense either one way or the other. Like they're going way, way extreme one way, or they're doing something. They're hair trigger. Like you can't say anything to anybody. That's
Yeah,
weird. That's
that's what and it's funny you say that because I saw this guy. He had a real nice jacket on. I was gonna give him a compliment. I said, no, people just too irrational these days. They might think I'm trying to rob them or something, so I just kept it to myself. But it's crazy you say that because a friend of mine um, just had to bury his brother because his brother went to a restaurant and the football game was on, and him and his guy at the bar talking about the game. The guy just up and shoots and kill him.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I don't talk to nobody. Like I don't make eye contact with nobody. Nothing.
Wow. Okay. That is very weird. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, what I'm dealing with has been happening for a while, but it makes it no less. Um, I don't even know. I don't even know how to put it. It makes it no less weird, I guess, because you want to think. Okay, so let me back up a little bit because one of the things that I wanted to mention was everybody is talking about the UFO sightings. So okay, it's still kind of weird to talk about it, whether you believe it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just it's still weird to talk about it. You don't want to have that conversation with people that aren't grounded or at least ascended, or not ascended. I mean, or at least grounded. You understand what I'm saying? Because the first thing, oh man, you believe that stuff, you one of them people. You like talking about that. So you don't want to get in that kind of conversation. You know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, if you're not one of the two people, whoever you're talking to, if you're not one of the two people who've seen it, you like, you know what? It's kind of like politics. Don't have that conversation. But it's everywhere. So it's just like, and like I said, what I've been going through, I'm doing what I'm doing, and people are like, okay, well, you putting it out there. I'm putting it out there because it's happening. If it wasn't happening, I wouldn't be putting it out. You understand what I'm saying? If it so the people that are saying, everybody, millions of people across the planet can't be wrong since 1932. From my understanding, since the beginning of the Egyptian dynasty, whenever that was, they were seeing what things that they could not describe since the beginning of time. And even in some holy books, they talk about dragons of fire in the sky. Do you think they was talking about real dragons, or do you think they was talking about UFOs, or do you think they was just making it all up? You gotta pick a side. You understand what I'm saying? Or you just don't believe it at all. And people were doing mushrooms, and they had some good hookah in the Hindu people, or those particular people they had some good stuff they were smoking on, and everybody is just I don't know. What do we believe right now?
It's like I was watching a video. It was a TikTok. It was a younger lady talking to her grandmother, and she said, "Granny, why do you stop going to church?" And exactly what you saying, like, because I started to read the Bible for myself, and they was talking about aliens and UFOs in the Bible. The pastor was talking about none of that. It's like, way more stuff in there. And she started breaking down biblically about what they were seeing, UFOs, aliens, and Jacob going up the ladder. Like, yeah, if the only thing they talk about in church is financial stuff, getting the blessing of finding a wife or a husband, like, no, talk about this stuff. Now I'll go back to church.
Wow, that part. Yeah, it's yeah. So I mean, you have to pick a side. Do you know they took our YouTube down? We're doing a show, and they stopped my whole computer. These motherfuckers, yeah, they own one tonight. They seriously own one. They took the whole computer down. They took my whole, yeah. We sitting here. I'm getting ready to see if I can bring the live stream back up. Um, yeah, they took the whole. We sitting here doing the show, and they took the whole show down. They took the whole live stream off. Dude, when I tell you they are on one, they are seriously, yeah. I cannot make this shit up. I couldn't make this up on my best day. Let's see. Okay. Okay, we back. All right. So yeah, it's still going. So go ahead. What were you saying, Rashad?
Just about the lady that was saying how they were talking about these creatures and aliens and UFOs in the Bible, and the pastor just skips over all that. It would make her stop going to church. She was like, if you talk about that, I'll go back. But like, no, they only talk about, money and, and getting married and your mate and all this stuff. But how do you skip all of this? It's not talk about it. And it's in the Bible. It's like, I'm not making it up.
Correct. Yeah. I don't see how you can. Yeah. I have not seen or heard, I have not heard rather, any pastor that I know of personally, and I've been in quite a few churches in the past, that's actually touched on those subjects, and I've looked them. It's in there. They talk about things ascending from the sky, and even I listened to a guy, and I got to look up his podcast and reference his information, but it was a podcast that I was listening to, and he really broke down like the times where this man they called Jesus was actually, this is where he was. And he uses the word Africa. He don't say Egypt. He says Africa, which is probably more correct. That's the more correct area. And if you're going to be hiding with a bunch of black people where nobody can find you, pretty much you gotta resemble them in some kind of way. That part. But he said, yeah, he said he studied meditation. They were doing things like levitation. He was doing Reiki and energy healing. He was studying the sciences and numbers. He was studying the cosmos, astrology. He really broke it down in terms where he followed the timeline and then followed that timeline to places where this man actually was as a young adult until he reached, the point where he started preaching and teaching and doing those things that they're referencing, however they're referencing them in the holy books or the Bible or whatever book you're reading. So yeah, it actually made sense to me. I'm going to find that guy's podcast and see if I can at least reference the information the way he put it down. Because I was like, you know what? If you want to believe the Bible, I would probably still be in church if they did it this way. Because it said, okay, Jesus was missing from the time he was born till he was what, 33? And that's weird. So where was this man all this time? Like, who you left your baby with? Like, where was this dude all this time? But he really broke it down, and I was like, you know what? Even though I know what's really happening, that kind of made sense to me. I'm like, okay, if the man was missing, at least tell people where he was. If you know. But they don't even say we don't know where he was. But then he was born supposedly in Bethlehem, and then he popped up and he was a whole prophet.
Yeah.
At 30 something odd years old. So that's weird. But yeah, that made sense to me. And again, like I said, there are references to these things that we can't identify. It was interesting that they said that the water was the true origin of where these UAPs or UFOs or whatever. And again, I was asking you earlier, had you heard of the um, hearing that they did? I believe it's the Senate hearings, if I'm not mistaken. But they came back out. I think this was 2-3 days ago. They came back out again and reconfirmed. Okay, and like I said, I didn't listen to the long one. I pulled up one where the guys were sitting at the table and they were saying, yeah, and they were talking about, some of the areas where they know that these portals, or I guess I should say, what do you call it, where you have all the aerial stuff located, like these landing, these compounds are located. I'm like, okay, is this happening? Like, so everybody started streaming about it, and I was like, wait a minute, let me go back and see what's really going on. And yeah, and then I was listening to one guy's pop. I'm trying to find the one where the guy was showing it, and they said, yeah, they have a photo of what they called a leviathan. I don't know if that's a big whale or a big octopus, but they said it is 33 feet long. I believe they said it was an octopus. 33 feet. So 33 feet is that's a big ass. That's a big ass octopus. But I guess they're bigger. But yeah, they said from what they can tell, it's 33 feet or bigger. Tortoises, turtles, I guess the size of houses. It's weird. I was like, yeah.
Hey, shit, man. Remember Godzilla came underwater.
You said what?
See, remember Godzilla came out the water?
And that part. Yep. Um, but yeah, Dr. Delbert Blair a while back, and I'm still looking for that video. And he was doing the whole UFO, UAP, whatever you want to call it, right now. And he was doing the whole series, and it wasn't even a long video. Of course, it's on the old UHS, but it was uploaded to YouTube because I remember watching it on YouTube. And he was saying, but this was before he passed away. He died in what,
Yeah,
2012, I believe?
something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And he said the things that you're going to begin to see come up out of the ocean. He said if you are of a certain age, this is something you don't want to live through. He said there still remains to be seen. He said the oddities. I think that's the word he used. He used some kind of like things like the strange or the oddities or something like that are going to be surfacing from the oceans. He said that's weird, and that's crazy that now they're talking about the ocean. That's very weird. I think it's on purpose. I think if those things are alien or unknown or unidentifiable, and they don't, what I'm saying, they don't look like we think they're supposed to. Like they ain't gonna come up with wetsuits looking built like, cut like Idris Elba. And I don't know, they might, but I think some of that stuff coming up out of there is, I don't know. I don't know. Y'all let us know what y'all think. He said what?
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu, correct. Yeah, yeah, Swamp Thing and all of that. But I mean, and so a lot of the photos and stuff, of course, that are going around on different podcasts are saying, is it AI? AI does such a good job. Is this real? Do you think it's fake? But I do know that stuff. I was in New York when the little whatever that was washed up on the shore, and I didn't think anything of it. What I'm saying, my mind is somewhere else. This is off at Coney Island, but they came and got it so quick and removed it. Now, when I say they, don't ask me who they is, but they came and got it. But then later on down the road, I saw something on YouTube where it said these little creatures were popping up on the shore, and they said it used to be a biochemistry laboratory or something somewhere off the coast of New York, somewhere outside of New York. Um, that's interesting. It shut down, but yeah, and they're saying the lab that blew up in Georgia, that was a biochemistry lab as well. So it still remains to be seen what all that smoke is doing to the people. Nobody moved. Nobody. This what dude was saying. I was like, dude. He said nobody. Just y'all outside still going to the grocery store, walking around. We don't know what that is. You don't know what it is. We still walking around in this. Like this is what we gonna do? Yeah. Yeah. It was weird to me too. I'm like, wow. Are we doing this is what we doing? And yeah, I mean, they didn't say. Look, they said some of the people around the town evacuated, but there were still a lot of people that just stayed. They did not. They didn't go anywhere. I mean, you still walking around. The kids still going to school. Hospitals are open. Like, I don't get it. Yeah, well. I mean, and it remains to be seen. They're saying, oh, no, and nobody's talking about it anymore. Like you don't see it on the news anymore. They're not saying if it, you we still got to drink. We still got water running through the, what I'm saying? They got water running in their houses. People taking baths. So I'm like, I don't know. And they said Michigan's water still messed up. And you know what I'm saying? So, dude.
It's gonna be like a case like a while back in Memphis. There's a street, and off the street was a chemical plant, and everybody on this street died of cancer. Like everybody's dead on this. Like it's those new people now, but every single person died of cancer on this street.
Wow. That's kind of like what's her name? Brockovich, the Brockovich lady,
Mm,
Aaron Brockovich. You remember that movie,
yeah.
Aaron Brockovich? Yeah, she's but yeah, that's yeah. They said the and this was pretty much a chemical plant as well, but yeah, and the people were dying one by one, um, or getting different diseases. Women were mysteriously sterilized. It's weird. So what do we do? We got this shift going on. We got the shift of information going on. Here's what I heard a couple days ago. Um, there's a level of consciousness that comes about with this whole whatever this is, because something is happening. We just don't know what. Something is happening. We all know that. We see the stuff in the sky. We're talking about the water. We got the floods, tornadoes. It was like what, 37, 49, 52 tornadoes in one spot. They got North Carolina under mud. Spain is under mud. Parts of Mexico is under mud. They're having mudslides. They got all of the sky activity going on. We can feel the vibration here in the 3D just walking around everyday people, everyday Joe, USA. Like without even going to another continent. We already feel it. We see what's going on around the world. There's fighting, there's war, people doing stupid stuff. They a man walked up to another man walking with his two daughters in New York. And I just briefly saw this on a clip. The man's got his two daughters. They got to be all of maybe 6 and 9, 8 and 4. They're young baby girls. Dude, he's got one on one hand and one on the other hand. The dude walked up to him and grabbed one of the babies. He wasn't even running, Rashad. He just walked up to the man, grabbed one of the little girls, and started walking off. The man was still holding on to his daughter's hand. He can't let go of the other little girl. And the little girl started struggling. So he put the little girl down and looked at the man like he was gonna fight him. So you're gonna fight this man. You tried to kidnap his daughter. He got two kids with him. I'm looking at the video like, what are we doing? He just sashayed up to, he just casually just walked up to the man and picked up his child.
Did he eventually get her back?
He got the little girl back, but he never did let her go. He couldn't let go of the other daughter. He was so scared to let go of the other daughter. He wasn't going to risk her being grabbed by something. He don't know if the man was, you know what I'm saying? You don't know if the man by himself. Do we have a crew? What's happening? The man's just walking with his daughters, and he just walked up. He had a ski mask on. He just walked up and picked his daughter right up off the ground while the man was still holding her hand. I'm like, wait a minute, what just happened? I think it was on was it on? Somebody caught it on a street cam, and it's like, yeah, dude just walked up to a man and picked his daughter up, and was gonna walk off with her, but he was still holding on to the little girl's hand. And by him holding her hand and not letting her go, and the little girl struggling and kicking, he let the little girl go. And the man didn't let either one of them go. I know he wanted to fight the man, but he can't put his daughter, you know what I'm saying? He can't let him go. So yeah, and the dude was looking at him like, like he was ready to fight. And I'm like, okay, you're trying to kidnap this man's children, and you really? Oh man, I don't know. And this is broad daylight. It wasn't at night. He just walking down the street with his children, broad daylight. I'm like, wow, it's weird. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so this is where we are, family. We are doing Chop It Up, Chew It, Spit It Out. Myself and the guy Rashad. Boy, I hope at least some of this records. And I'm gonna do some editing. I'm trying to get YouTube together. People just bear with us for a little while. I'm just sitting here. I did open the chat room. If anybody wants to come into the chat room that can hear the live, it did post live on YouTube. Um, come into the chat room. We're at Crown Knowledge Radio. We look forward to getting to know you in the Crown, myself and the guy Rashad. We have some other team members that we'll be introducing to the Crown as well. So I just wanted to do that little short little commercial break. The other thing, Rashad, they are saying that um, in the very near coming, I guess that whole thing about we were talking about the dollar crashing. That's not well. The dollar ain't shit right now. Excuse my language, but that whole thing. But they were talking about us all going to a world dollar. I guess it's gonna. I would imagine it's crypto. I don't know that, but it's going to be like a world monetary system. That's interesting. Like all over the world, like everywhere, like all across the globe.
Yeah, like okay.
I know the dollar is crashing, but what are we supposed to be doing? They said at some point you're just gonna your you can take your money and just throw it in the trash.
It'd be like remember old food stamps used to be paper.
Wow.
It was just a card.
Yeah, that's true. That part. Um, yeah, that and because we had already talked about the food sources, but just being able to feed feed your family and being able to get medicine. And I don't know, they say in this new administration, I don't want to really talk politics, but come on, y'all, that's I think we got bigger fish to fry other than who's they have nothing to do, to be honest, with what's going on this planet. There are people that are doing what they want to do, when they want to do it, the way they want to do it, how they want to do it. They just have us looking for a person to quote unquote elect to sit in that chair. And it seems like this dude don't mind being the scapegoat. He really don't. He don't mind being the fall guy. I think he's pretty much let that be known. He is he has pretty much let that be known. He don't mind.
Man, it's pretty wild now.
But I don't know. I think it's kind of that's weird in itself. I've never seen people. I think I did. That happened when Barack Obama took office. Correct. There was crying and people said black people was gonna take over the world. I'm sorry. It's not funny. It's funny, but it's like really. So we didn't take over the world when they was whooping our ass with hot whips, but we gonna take over the world now. Like I don't understand. And people act,
He'll be really wrapped up in the elections, man, in politics.
yeah, they are shedding real tears. That's kind of strange to me. I kind of knew what the outcome was going to be. I don't know how anybody else couldn't see that, but I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, y'all, y'all might as well hang it up because I already saw where that was going. Um, but just the whole I'm watching the energy. I'm watching different things. I'm trying not to do a whole lot of just looking at TikTok and the things are, although it's very interesting. And like I said, the strangest things that are happening now is what's going on in the sky. And now everybody's gonna start looking at the water. I don't understand it. Have you ever swam in the ocean before?
No, but every time I go, I don't get in it.
I don't either. I've been close to the ocean a few times in my life, so quite a few times in my life. And particular one particular time I remember was in Texas. Um, was I in? No, I'll take that back. I was in Oregon, and I was near the water. We were in the mountains, and I was near the water. and it looked like a big bubble was sitting on the shore. It was probably half the size of a car, but it would just look like a big boat, like a little mini car or something. It's about that size, if you can kind of imagine the size of it. And it looked it looked like it had colors bouncing off of it, but it was flat. But it had like a little hump over the top of it, a little dome over the top of it. I had never seen a jellyfish up close and personal. Never. Never, ever, ever. I've seen them on TV. I've seen them on cartoons. I've seen them, I've seen them in books, and and oh wow, that's a jellyfish, really? And in your mind, especially when you're young, you try to imagine, where did this come from? Why do they call it a fish? It kind of looks like an octopus, but then it don't look like an octopus. And in my mind, I'm making all these, trying to break down, and analyze what I'm looking at, because I've never seen one live up close and in person. And it had what I would call, it looked like streamers that were just laying flat. Now this is on the shore, and I'm walking over there, and I hear somebody from like yards and yards away from me, like, "Don't touch that! Get away from there!" And I'm like, "Okay." And I just kind of froze in my track. I was maybe a couple of feet from it, and they said, "Don't touch that. That's a jellyfish." And I'm like, "You mean like this jellyfish didn't look like the jellyfish I saw on TV. It did not. It was, I could see it. It was kind of translucent, but I think it had turned a different color because maybe it was dying or dead. But I heard of a big old tall white guy. He came running towards me, and he was like, "Don't touch that." And I was, yeah, because I was like, I didn't know what it was. At first, I thought it was a plastic bag, and then I thought it was, you know, I didn't know what it was, and I was like, what is this? And like I said, I'm young at that particular time. Let's see, I was in Oregon. Well, I wasn't too young. I was maybe 17, 16, 17 years old. And so I'm like, what is this? Like, and I'm curious. And I was gonna kick it with my foot, and he was like, "Don't touch that." And he came running towards me, and next thing you know, they had the park ranger was out there, because we were in the mountains. We were near mountains. But it was just weird. That was the only time I've ever seen something up close and personal. But it was a jellyfish. I'm assuming it was a jellyfish. But Dr. Delbert Blair says some of the things that we're going to see. I mean, his words were, and I'll never forget it because it still resonates with me today. He said, "There's some of the things that we're going to see coming up out of the water you might not want to live through." Now, that's based on his account, his words, not mine. Those were his words. So it's very interesting.
I remember that DVD.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot which one it was.
I know, and I'm really, and I believe, I don't know. I don't know if I remember seeing it on a video of it on YouTube or not. They're bringing up a lot of Bobby Hemmett. Have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Bobby Hemmett is popping up. I'm like, okay. Y'all didn't want to give the master his due when he was still on the planet, but that's okay. He did what he was supposed to do while he was here. He was ready to get the fuck off this bench anyway. Oh, excuse me, YouTube. He was ready to get get out of here anyway. But yeah.
So was the jellyfish? It's one particular jellyfish I think it's pretty deadly. Like it must have been it.
It must have been, because the next thing I know, it was little dune buggies, cars. Like we were standing, everybody was standing around. It wasn't very many people in this particular area, but it was at least 30, 40 people. And they were like, they roped it off, like not roped it off, but they put the little guard tape up so couldn't nobody come across. And I guess the dude had already been looking at it from a distance. but I was coming from the other direction. And then when I noticed it, I just started walking over towards, because like I said, it wasn't this a big beach, but it's not a whole lot of people there. Oregon's got some of the most beautiful water that I had ever seen in my life. It's one of the cleanest states I had ever been in my life. It was really weird to see. I had a little part-time job. My brother and his wife lived there, and I had a little part-time job, so I would walk to work, and I would have to walk over a freeway past a farm. And it's weird when you walking past a farm and the animals come up to the fence. I had never seen that before. I had never seen that before. It was a lot of stuff that I saw in Oregon that I had never seen before. But it was actually the state. I have actually been to the state of Oregon. I can't say that in my life. Haven't been to all the states, but um, the other interesting thing is they're saying the mud flood in North Carolina, they are saying that they found a mineral that is, uh,
Get the lithium.
yeah, in North Carolina. I'm like, uh-oh. Um, because they're saying that their flood, they basically had no warning. And they said the same thing happened to Brazil. Brazil's flood came in. There was no warning. It just came in without warning. And if you see the picture of these floods and the way they came in, it was like it was like a tsunami. This wasn't no like it was raining for a few months and then it wasn't a Katrina situation, because we know what happened in Katrina, but it wasn't a Katrina situation where the levee broke and all the water came out. Like it's almost like the water came from out of nowhere. Rashad, I don't know how to explain that. It's like the water came from out of nowhere, but then next thing you know, it was mud everywhere. And they said those houses in North Carolina are still under mud. They're still under. I mean, they just got, yeah. That's weird, dude. I don't know. A lot of strange and unusual. But now I've heard a couple of people say they're sleeping funny or they're not sleeping at all. I can't tell. I don't sleep for the most part. I sleep. I've been doing that for years, though. That's just me. And you, on the other hand, you, dude, I get it. He said, "Look, I'm working two jobs. I got four kids."
Nah, man.
I'm just making it. I'm making it up, but go ahead.
Nah, I'm sure I let the other job go, man. I'll figure something else out. That shit just nah.
It will work out, but you just keep your vibration high, vibe. Just well, we can talk about some of that offline, but stay high vibing. If you got it, but you got to come through the shift because you already have a high vibrational aura. This is something I have to say offline, but I'll say this: you're already vibing high, and again, people like me who intentionally vibe high, you naturally vibe high. Like I can do it now because I understand my ascension, and then you've been high vibing since you was a child. Like like it's one of those kind of things. So you have to get over this hump, which is probably going to be a minute, but it will work itself out. It'll work itself out. For a lot of people, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. For some people, they're going to sleep their way through the shift. They're just going to go ahead.
They're gonna sleep their way through it.
Mm-hmm. They're going to sleep their way through the shift. Yeah, it's going to be, I'm going to get up to go to the bathroom and I'm going to eat. That's probably going to be me, even though because I found myself napping kind of a little bit in the afternoon. It really doesn't matter. Um, But then there's I think there was one girl I was looking at some the TikTok compilations I was telling you about. Those where they try to they put a whole lot of different TikToks together and show them on there. And she said for some reason I'm up, I can't sleep. Um, but again, I do that kind of naturally. A lot of people can't do that. I had insomnia for 5 years, so it's I don't know. I go into those phases, but what I'm saying for you is to yeah, you're gonna have to transmute the energy. Put your mind on something else because it's gonna be a
I'm
minute.
not. I ain't tripping about it.
Yeah, I know you're not. Yeah, no, I know that. Yeah, no, because this ain't the. Mm,
It's
it's
like I can see myself being the ones that can sleep through because for some reason, like I don't nap during the day,
mm-hmm,
but when it hits, it started with this whole daylight saving shit.
mm-hmm.
Get dark up. Like, once it hit 6:30, oh,
Correct. Yeah.
I was struggling to stay up and do the show. I had to start washing dishes and shit.
That's okay. I mean, yeah, like I said, there's some everybody is like I said, the shift is going to hit different based on your personal vibration. So it's going to hit it's hitting the whole planet. All you got to do, it don't take much to prove what I'm saying. Don't take my word for it. Just cut on the TV. And just even plain mundane everyday mainstream news. Just cut it on and right away it's always like, what? What's happening? So it's always something going on, and not to mention social media. So TikTok is crazy, Instagram, YouTube. Everything is everything is weird now. So it's going to hit the whole planet. The key is your personal vibration, and dude today put it perfectly. He said you can be on the side of hating your way through this shift. You're gonna be hateful, mean, nasty, disruptive, disagreeable, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be a rough ride for you. Or you can love your way through it. And not that you got to walk up and kiss everybody on the mouth. That's not what I'm saying. Um, you can be introspective, love on yourself. So that's what I'm telling you. Expelling extra energy right now is not a good idea. You get what I'm saying? That part. Okay. But introspection, loving on yourself, and your children that are naturally high vibing, and that's not just you, but anybody that's listening to this. Children that are naturally high vibing children, like you have those children under the age of 7, 10, 9, 10, 9, 7, 8, and down, that they're just naturally happy kids. 12 is a different age, 13, because they're making that transition. You understand what I'm saying? So they're going through puberty. Those hormones kick in at a certain age, and there's just nothing you can do about it. But the children that still have that natural um, spiritual dew on them, you understand what I'm saying? The kids that like, you know what? No matter what happened, my son always got a hug for his dad. I mean, he always happy. He always, hey, daddy, and you run up to me like this is always my child. But just pay attention to their behavior. If they start to slow down, if they're sleeping a lot, and it's nothing wrong, it's just that you'll notice, okay, it's the shift that they're going through. So do something with them, bringing back that natural high vibrational essence of them raises your vibration as well. Did that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but other than that, yeah, people gonna do that because I'm napping now, and I never nap. That's like unless I'm just like I got to be sick, 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 sick to nap, and now I find myself napping, and it's gonna hit the whole planet. I nap and then I get a burst of energy. I won't go to sleep until maybe 4 o'clock in the morning, if that. There are some days that I stay up all night and I'm good with it. But I've been doing it for years. Like, I don't know if that's just part of my makeup, if it's just part of, I don't know. I don't know anybody in my family that does that, like stay up all night, unless it's a crisis. Like, and I'm good. I wake up the next day, do what I got to do. I might, lay down and go sleep for a couple of hours and wake up and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do what I need to do. But I've been doing that. I've been doing it. I can't even know. I don't even know how many years. I've been doing that for years. And they say, oh, if you don't get your registered aid, I think that's a myth. The lady, shout out to the Amish lady that does all the natural healing stuff, Miss Barbara O'Neill. She has a YouTube channel out there, and I go out there and watch. She tell you how to use stuff that's right in your kitchen. But she said, drinking a gallon of water, or you got to have 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. And she said, nope, all you got to do is get you some Celtic salt. And whenever you feel thirsty, you take a couple of sips of water. Or if you want to drink a half of a 16-ounce bottle of water, that's fine too. But 8 to 12 to 16 glasses a day, you don't have to do that. And I always thought there was something weird about that because you can oversaturate yourself with water. It's weird. But anyway, that was just a little side note. Of things that we think we need to do. Now, I think if you stayed up for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 months and you ain't had no sleep, something might happen to you. But
I feel the same way about the water thing because I'm like, so you mean to tell me, you know, before we had, water systems in homes, primitive man was drinking all that water. Like, come on now, like, come on. You wake up and like, I gotta drink 10 handfuls of water today. Like, what's all about, man? Come on. Shut it.
that's like, dude. Obviously, I am really getting hooked on those TikTok compilations. I gotta stop watching them. Dude said, "How you gonna tell me that we should believe what we hear in the Bible when at a time that the people that's in the Bible didn't have a Bible? Why is this Bible?" I was drinking something. I almost spit it. I think I was drinking my coffee that day, that morning, and I almost spit my coffee. I was like, "Dude, shh, don't say nothing. Hush." He was like, how you gonna tell me?" And I was like, you know what? He got strong and valid. He said nobody back then had a Bible. Nobody. I was like, dude. So I mean, he said, and don't come telling me that's because they had the real thing and they had, you know, Jesus was walking with them on the land or whatever the case might be. It don't have to be Jesus. Don't come for me, y'all. I'm just saying it was funny. I was like, dude.
Or you're one of the ones that's dead but writing your life out.
You said what?
Or you one of the ones that's dead but writing your life, writing about your whole life, like you still alive.
Yeah, because according to what I understand, a lot of those people who were supposedly supposed to be the authors of those particular gospels, the gospels were written way after they had died, correct?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Alrighty then. Yeah, I just thought it was when he said it, he was so mad. He was serious. And I didn't think it was gonna come out that way. And I forgot what I was drinking. I almost spit it out. I was like, dude, that's yeah. But now we have to question everything. That's a good thing. Because either if you don't want to know, then that just means you're pretty cool with status quo. The way you know what I'm saying. I want my chitlins on my pizza, and and I like peanut butter on my pork chop. I'm good.
And yeah, you got to question everything. And nowadays, you even got to question what you see with your own eyes.
Correct. Now. Correct. That's very true, man. Yeah, you just opened up a whole another portal in the show because you can. There are so many ways now that people can manipulate even what you see. Again, I just mentioned AI a minute ago. Um, And with that being said, just visually what we see every day, even on the, and it's dangerous, but I get it at the same time because it's like, okay, maybe somebody like me or you, or maybe somebody that even has a keener eye. I can kind of tell now when I'm looking at AI. It's kind of weird. There's something, and that's funny because Terrence Howard and Billy Carson, shout out to them. They did, man, if you have not seen this podcast with them, and again, if you don't like hearing quantum physics and how mechanically, um, mathematically, intricately, um, and spiritually God works in the 3D, you're not going to like that podcast. But if you like all that stuff, if you really, I sent them a shout out in the chat and they sent a love bomb back for Billy Carson as well. So I was like, this is God getting to know him, getting to know itself more intimately. And that's the text, the comment that I sent back. They were on live, so I went in live to send the people were sending in comments, and he was telling them, telling Terrence how much everybody's loving on him in there. And I was like, I like the two of y'all to, doing this podcast together. This is, we, two black gods getting it in. They were really getting it in. So I know you think on that level. Everybody's not going to really get what they were talking about. But when I tell you they broke down, you can see, and again, y'all don't come for me. I love me some Terrence Howard. I love Billy Carson. You could see the intensity coming out of Terrence Howard because he believes this stuff, and the way he breaks it down. He bought charts, graphs, he pulled up he pulled up so much stuff, and of course he was just feeding, they were feeding off of each other's energy. It was cool to watch. It really was cool. I was like, these two people, I think they sitting too close together, like Hancock. Them two niggas was about to. I'm sorry, excuse me. Them two brothers was gonna spontaneously combust the way they was laying down the now. I was like, you got to be kidding me. But people were good. It was like, man, this is atomic. I was like, yeah. So I had to go in live, and I sent them a comment, and they responded to my comment. That was dope. I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, this is God getting to know itself intimately in the 3D. That's what I said. Yep. And they loved it. I got hearts on that one. But yeah. So something like that, you know what I'm saying? So something like that, there if you don't question it, even Billy Carson said, I had an encounter. He said, now I didn't tell anybody that's what it was at the time because I wasn't sure. But he said not only did he have one before his aunt passed away, she told him that she had one. I don't know. I mean, so everybody can't. Something's got to be true about this. It don't all have to be true. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, gotta be. Because I mean, yeah, I gotta watch that one. I forgot you told me about that show.
Yeah. You really have
But
to watch
the funny thing about Terrence Howard is like, he was in the movies and everything.
it.
I'm like, did he know all this beforehand, or you know what I'm saying? Because this is weird.
You know what? And him and they talked about that. I gotta let me see if I can remember a piece of it. The I can't remember everything he was saying about where he had this, but he had been doing the patents, he said, for years. So in my mind, I thought the same thing you thought. I'm like, how long this dude been doing this? Because I remember him from the holiday movies, like what was it? Best Man. Yeah, I remember him from the Best Man movies. Like, and then I mean, I remember him and other stuff, and Billy Carson did a nice intro. His intro, he named every movie that he named movies that I didn't even know Terrence Howard was in. I forgot that he was in Dead Presidents. Did you?
Oh yeah, he was in there. Yeah, he was in Dead
Yeah, I
Presidents.
forgot. I was like, that's right, he was in Dead President. And then more recently, he just did Night Fight, the whole series with Kevin Hart and Taraji P and all them. Have you seen that yet?
Uh,
Man, you have got to see that. They did a good job. It's funny. It's funny. It's tripped out because it's a real event. It really, really happened. And I was like, this is not real. And Samuel Jackson is in it. He plays Frank Lucas.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he was in that and Hustle and Flow and
Hustle and
all that
Flow.
stuff.
Yep.
Cause I'm like, how long has man been knowing this stuff?
Correct. Yeah, I thought that too, but he did. They did talk about it. Because I think Billy Carson asked him, um, what have you always been inclined to do the same? And he said yes, but I can't remember if he said since whatever age or whatever that was. But I know he did say his Terrence Howard's wife is his business manager as well, and so she kind of helped him to go into if you're going to do this, go ahead and patent the things that you're talking about. And it turns out that this dude is sitting on some knowledge, like some real, like money. Like if he wanted billions and billions, he could. So he did, yeah, he did. I remember him bringing it up in it, but it's about what 2 hours and 20 some odd minutes. It's a 2 hour interview.
Yeah, cause he held it well because I had no idea. He knew all that stuff.
That I don't think anybody did. I really don't. I don't think that not to that level. They probably was like, oh yeah, he's always been a smart kid. That so and so, but and he's had a rough life. I didn't know that. Like he didn't know his father. He was estranged from his father, or I believe it was his father left him and his mother at a young age, and yeah, it was weird. I was like, wow, okay. Him and Billy Carson come from a similar background.
Mm.
Yeah, that's just that I mean it was just intriguing. The whole interview was like wow, but yeah, check it out. Yeah, Billy Carson and Terrence Howard, and yeah, question everything. Yep, question everything. Um, even the people that you see every day around you, co-workers. They talking about these non-player characters now, the NPCs, and
Oh man, it's one of them. This shit there is crazy because I swear, man, half of these motherfuckers ain't real people.
the,
And they pop up out of nowhere. Like I was outside um with Tristan. He's riding his bike. Now I'm looking at both ends of the street to make sure no car coming. Okay, I turn my head for a split second, and this car comes out of nowhere. Like, where the fuck did this car come from?
Out of nowhere. Correct. Yep. Out of nowhere. It's almost yeah. I can't even. I was gonna say it's almost like they hiding somewhere, but you really looking around your street. There's nowhere that you can't see a car. And I know you looking. You a parent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they just come from out of nowhere. Yeah. That happens to me just about every day. Just about every time I'm out of my car. It's weird. I watched a young lady, me and my brother, riding in the car, and I saw this girl from 2 blocks away. And I'm like, okay, I see the girl on the side. She's got on pink. I can't miss her. She's right there. It's a car, it's 2 or 3 cars, like 4 car lengths in front of me. And then there's a big gap in the middle of my car. Now she could have went before those cars. She could have went after those cars went by. Do you know she waited until my car got up on her and then she stepped out in front of my car and I'm like, I'm sorry, what's happening?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking she's just on the sidewalk. Maybe she's waiting on somebody. Maybe she don't want to cross the street right now. Maybe she's just standing there. Maybe she lives in that house and she's just getting some fresh air. She said had her little jogging suit on. She had a little bottle of water in her hand. I'm thinking, okay, I'm watching her. I can see her from 2 blocks away. That's weird. She had a whole gap. She could have crossed the street 3 times before I got to her. I swear. But she waited on my car. I thought it was weird. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I've had a few people here over the last few days throw themselves in front of my car. Like, I mean, literally, like, they just see me coming and they just feel like she looks like she won't hit me very hard. I'll step out in front of this car.
It's like here we're like 10 pedestrians get hit a day here for some
Correct.
reason.
Yeah, that's weird.
I
When
mean,
did,
these damn fools are crossing a busy street looking at their phone.
yeah,
And
that
what do you
part too.
expect?
Correct. Yeah. This girl wasn't on the phone though. That was kind of weird. Yeah, if she was on the phone, I could see, but yeah, she wasn't on the phone. She was looking dead at me. Like,
Matter of fact, I saw a clip of right before we started the show. This girl on the phone get hit by a damn car. As soon as she got up and get hit from a car, she went and got her damn phone.
wow. Yeah, that's yeah. And then I've seen the clip of the people that were when the cars are stopped, they'll run up to the front of the car, and the woman slammed on the hood and then laid down on the ground. I thought I was gonna die. I was like, lady, he got a first of all, he got a whole dash cam. Let's just start there. So, and then the police officer was standing behind her, and she didn't know, and so she put her foot up and kicked the hood of his car and then laid down on the ground. The police officer standing behind her the whole time. This guy, I forgot what country it was in. Yeah, and then he walked up beside her and put his hands on his hips and he was looking down at her, laying down on the ground. And she got up, dusted herself off, and walked away. I'm like, sis, what are we doing? Yeah, it's I don't know, but yeah, I just thought it was weird. I'm looking at my brother looking at me. He was like, "What's she waiting on?" I was like, "I have no idea." Yeah, she waited on my car. Out of all, there was 3, 4 cars in front of me. She could have went at any time, but she waited on my car. I was like, "Wow, okay, so that's what we doing." But yeah, that and the animals, they actually caught a bird that had, or they found a bird that had died on top of a roof. I would imagine it either hit an electrical wire or somehow the bird got attacked. But when they videotaped the bird, there were wires and cameras inside the bird.
Yeah. Drone birds, spy birds.
Spy birds? Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, they got them all over here. Yeah, it's very strange, very weird. Um, but yeah, I do. I question everything. Yeah, I don't know what this. I don't know what this world is going to be. They're talking about 2026, 2027. It's going to be a different world than what we live in now. It's different right now.
It's different every damn day.
Every day is something different. Every day. Um, but yeah, that vibration is very, very, very important because, like old girl was saying, if you know, you know, my spiritual sister. If you know, you know. If you don't, it's just not your time to shift. Don't waste your time trying to explain it to people. Don't waste your time trying to decode shit for them. Y'all can listen to Crown Knowledge Radio, and it's only and Crown Knowledge Radio is for an acquired taste. I would love to get likes, subscribes, and you know, share, like, and subscribe. Definitely share, even if you don't like or subscribe. But that's not what we're here for. Uh, If I, it's going to be an organic community, and I think it's coming over the next 6 months to a year. I think you're going to see those particular podcasts increasing, and those that are out here faking the funk, people will know. Yeah, they will know. If they call you out on BS, they damn sure will call you out on some real, for real stuff. Shout out to the brother Bobby Hemmett, may he rest in peace. The Dr. Delbert Blair, may he rest in peace. The brother Panic, may he rest in peace. Um, Dr. Phil Valentine, he's out there still doing what he's doing. You know, um, our Phil Valentine, not Oprah's Phil Valentine, our Phil Valentine. He's still out there doing his thing. Shout out to Black Magic. Um, yeah, Black Magic is doing big things. His vibe is real high. So shout out to all of those individuals who inspire me. They will be the first ones to tell you that they're not leaders, and we don't have to subscribe to them. We don't have to follow them, but they're just putting down the knowledge the way it needs to be put down right now. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. Hold on, Rashad. So they're trying to take the YouTube down. We've done about an hour and 10 minutes. We'll go ahead and check this show, see how it goes, see if we can do any editing on it. Funny, hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Uh, but yeah, laugh, dude, laugh, smile. Keep your kids' vibe high. I promise you. Like I said, you need them more so than they need you. They know what their assignment is. Their assignment has yet to come. Once we done putting chitlins on pizza, then they'll take over. Cause
I'm good, man. I ain't tripping.
oh, okay. No, you're not. No, you're not tripping. Like I said, they stopped they're trying to stop my page, trying to slow it down. They're trying to take it down. They took Blog Talk down. It's just, yeah, it is what it is. Again, I talk more about that in hidden in dark corners. Hidden in dark corners is out there. I've loaded some shows to YouTube. If you guys haven't checked out those. And again, people are like, why are you bringing this up? Why are you talking about this? Why is this so important? Well, it's happening. If it wasn't happening, I wouldn't be talking about it. So myself and the brother Fred, shout out to brother Fred. We'll be doing that. Those shows, bringing them live to YouTube. So we got a lot of work to do still. We have a lot to still do to get YouTube up and looking the way we want it to look, to bring you guys quality, at least a quality visual show. And most importantly, our content, our view of what's going on in the world today. I will still be doing What's Love is Capable of, which I am absolutely loving. They shut down part 3. That's okay. I'll bring it back. I was talking about what's his name? Oh shoot, what's that word? Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory and his wife Rashad.
Yeah.
And what's love is capable of. And he said one time in one of his lectures that it wasn't about whether or not he loved her, but it was whether or not she was lovable. I thought that was interesting. I did a whole show on it, and they muted out the whole show. So I'm going to bring it back. What love is capable of. And I do that in Serious Sex on Saturdays, and on Sundays it will be myself. And hopefully each and every time it will be the God Rashad. The God Rashad is doing big things. So, he'll be letting you guys know some of the things that he's doing out there as well. So look out for us. We're introducing a couple of new members to the KROWN team that's near dear to my heart because they my fam. Um, so we're going to be introducing them, and they're going to be getting their podcast together, their show together very soon. But they're going to have a show right here on KROWN, on KROWN Knowledge Radio on YouTube. So we'll be doing that as well. So, okay. Um, what else, Rashad?
Now let's set. Go ahead and cut the show down.
Okay.
Start over.
Okay.
This YouTube thing together.
Yep, we're going to get this YouTube thing together. Thank you all for listening to Rocking with us in the Crown. Myself and the guy Rashad. I am DurDanah. This is Crown Knowledge Radio, and Rashad, say good night to the people.
All right, good night.
All right. Okay.